Hey, what's up guys, Houston here. And for those of you just finding my YouTube channel, welcome. Please remember to hit that subscribe button and that bell. And for those of you that's been supporting me and following me, as always, salute. Now, today's video, we're actually going to be talking about how is it possible for me to buy a car with bad credit and no money. So I'm going to share with you 3 situations that can possibly help you. And that being said, just keep in mind, because of the summertime, please check in on your elderly, okay? Make sure that they have water and everything. As always, also check in on your single fathers and single mothers as well, because they need help also. So it's just a small community announcement. I'd like to ask people to get involved in actually looking out for the community. Now back to how to buy a car with bad credit and no money. Now let's think about, when you have bad credit, let's think about what it is that you would need in order to get qualified for a car. So the first thing you would need is Paystubs, right? And I know some of you may be like DoorDash drivers or freelancers or something like that, so you don't have regular pay stubs and everything, and I'm going to address that as well. Now you have pay stubs, you have bank statements, and you have utility bills. Okay, all right. So if you have bad credit, now that doesn't mean you can't qualify for a car. Some of you may be on a fixed income, okay? And so I'm going to talk about a few places that you can go to see if you may qualify to get a car loan if you have bad credit, no money, or even if you have a fixed income. All right, so that being said, one of the places that I would tell you, especially if you have a fixed income or you have bad credit and you're in need of transportation, all right, that is looking at the non-profits. Okay, there are non-profits out there that actually help you not only get transportation, but they also help you find work and things of that nature. And so one of those non-profits is Way to Work. Okay, so that's just one of the non-profits and everything. Now here's something that you all have to understand, all right, in terms of when dealing with these non-profits. Again, they may look and see if you have pay stubs, if you have bank statements, utilities and stuff, to see if you fit into their criteria in order to help you. But if you're not able to get the help from a nonprofit, there are other places that you can go. And one of the places is the Community Development Financial Institute, the CDFI. All right, they're similar to credit unions and stuff, and they're primarily focused on the community, helping communities get acquired to small personal loans, business loans, and I would say, especially if you have a problem with transportation and stuff, you may want to look into them. Now here's another nonprofit. It's the Salvation Army, right? Salvation Army. All right. So that may be a option for you. Okay, so if Way to Work can't help you, you may want to check into Salvation Army, because with the Salvation Army, if they're not able to help you get into a car, I know they usually are able to help you get at least public transportation. All right, especially if you're trying to go back and forth to work and you're struggling. All right, so those are a few options, but we're really finna dive into this. And so in terms of, some people are trying to buy high-end cars and they have bad credit and stuff. And that being said, like said, most people, they may be trying to buy like a Escalade or Mercedes and stuff, and that car may be over $50,000. All right, now here's the thing about it. With a lot of lenders, if you're trying to buy a vehicle over $50,000 and you never had a vehicle on your credit report over $50,000 before, well, here's the thing about it. is they're going to want a higher down payment. So what I mean by that, they want you to put like $10,000 to $15,000 down. That's a lot of your capital just for a vehicle and stuff like that. Now there are some options, okay? There are some options for you in terms of if you're willing to put $10,000 to $15,000 down for one vehicle, then I would probably, this is what I would probably do. I would probably look up a subscription, right? The reason is, like with Cadillac, Porsche, BMW, even like with Enterprise and Hertz, like they offer subscriptions where you pay a monthly fee, okay? You pay a monthly fee and you get access to a variety of cars and stuff like that. Like Escalade, they have different tiers of fees. Porsche, they have different tiers of subscriptions and stuff that you can join and everything. And let me clarify something. Like with these subscriptions, they're not in all states. So I must be transparent about it. Even though they may not be in all states, you may be able to, like with rental cars and stuff like that, of course people know if they have bad credit, it's no problem, because you can go where? You can go to Turo, you can go to Fair, you know, and rent a car and stuff like that. But if you're actually trying to own a car and stuff like that, because of depreciation, and if you're willing to put $10,000 to $15,000 down, I would say do a subscription. Do a subscription. The reason is, again, like I said, you will have a variety of vehicles. Because, and like with Escalade, you may like a convertible in the summertime, right? But in the wintertime, if you're on the East Coast and stuff, you're going to need an SUV. Or like with Hertz and stuff, you're able to switch up out of vehicles and everything like that. So that's the reason I've said, like, even if you have bad credit but you have capital and stuff, it is possible. Now here's something that a lot of people may not know. Like with certain Mercedes dealerships, high-end car rentals, places like Rolls-Royce and stuff like that, certain dealerships, because they have internal car scoring, see, there's a score for like credit cards, mortgages, cars, secure loans and stuff like that, right? And so understanding that, even though you may have a bad credit score, you may have a high net worth, okay? And because you have a high net worth, you may be able to get that $50,000, $100,000 car, even though you have bad credit, because you have a high net worth. Okay, so don't think because you have bad credit you can't get into a Rolls Royce or a Bentley or a high-end Mercedes. Okay, that's not true. That's not the norm anymore. If you have a high net worth, then you definitely have the ability to be able to get that again, that Rolls Royce or Bentley or whatever you desire. Okay, so in terms of having bad credit, I don't think that's really a problem anymore with what's going on in the industry right now. Okay, even though car prices are skyrocketing and stuff, but with a lot of lenders and stuff, they need to get rid of the cars anyway. Okay, and because they need to get rid of the cars anyway, if you're a person that has bad credit but you have a good substantial amount of down payment, they're able to work with you. So then that's the reason I would say that in terms of if you have bad credit, it's still possible. Like I said, now here's another place that you can possibly go to. Buy here, pay here. Okay, now here's the cool thing about buy here, pay here. Again, like I said, is most of the time they're not going to check your credit and stuff, because more likely you probably have challenging credit anyway, right? Now here's the thing about it. When you get these cars from buy here, pay here, sometimes you can ask the dealership to sign up with certain credit reporting systems so that it can actually report as a trade line on your credit. So that way you can have some positive trades reporting on your credit, showing that, hey, I do have a car loan and stuff like that that's reporting. All right. So you do have the buy here, pay here if you have bad credit, but you have you may be on a fixed income and you're trying to rebuild your credit or something like that, or you just have bad credit, you know. So you do have buy here, pay here that actually will report. They may not report to all 3 credit bureaus. They may report to maybe 1 or 2. Okay. But this is definitely some options for you. Now, in terms of not having money to buy a car, all right, here's a situation that I know a guy did. Okay, what he did, and he developed a skill and started making money from it. What he did, he started looking for people with like old classic cars, right? Okay, and he would negotiate, hey, if I can sell this car for you, will you give me a percentage of the profits? All right. And because he knew so much about vintage cars and stuff, he was the one that was actually listing those cars and stuff and selling them over markup. So if a vintage car was selling for $20,000, he would probably negotiate, because he had so much knowledge in it, he would sell it for $25,000, right? So he would sell it for over what the markup price was, keep the $5,000 plus whatever percentage him and the guy agreed with. Okay, so in terms of, you may have somebody like that that's not using their car or whatever. So you may have bad credit, no money, but you may just have a job. So it just depends on what type of negotiation of relationship you have with the person. But you definitely can actually get cars with bad credit and no money. Now, even like with certain dealerships, all right, if they have certain cars that aren't selling, okay, and you don't have a down payment and you have bad credit, but you have a job, okay, they will take that into consideration to help you get inside a vehicle, especially it may be a vehicle that's, again, that's not selling that well, that's been on their lot for longer than it should, right? So those the type of cars, if you have bad credit, no money, and you go to dealership, find out, hey, what cars do they have that they just can't sell? Okay, so that's a tip, asking them, hey, what car here is it that you have that you just can't sell that I can possibly get in? And like I said, you have to have income in order to do this, but at the same time, if you have bad credit and no down payment, then it definitely may be an option. Now, here's another thing. Payday loan. Personal loans. Payday loans, I wouldn't do the payday loans, but I would do probably like a personal loan. Now, again, you can get a personal loan. You may get a personal loan for up to $5,000 if you have good income, but you have bad credit. Okay, so you have bad credit, but you have good income, you have low DTI, where they don't check your credit and stuff like that, to get up to maybe a $5,000 personal loan, and taking that personal loan and maybe going to like an auto auction. Now, I have had clients that didn't have any money and they hustle themselves up to making maybe $300-400, and they'll go to the auction. But because they had the skills and the know-how to actually fix the cars, they would buy the cars that don't sell, and if they can negotiate getting them for $300 or $400, then they would put whatever effort they needed to try to get the car back operating and double the price on it and sell it, right? And so that way it made them enough profits to where they can actually start buying the car that they wanted to buy. Okay, and actually it became a business because, again, they leveraged their skill in terms of getting a car, and they didn't have the money. They hustled up on a few $100, and they turn that into a few $1,000s. So that is something that's possible. Now again, for you guys that are maybe on Social Security disability, or you just don't have the means to make enough ends to make car payments and stuff, then you definitely want to check out your nonprofits to see if they're able to help you with transportation. Now, that being said, let's talk about a few places that you may be able to get qualified even if you have bad credit, a recent bankruptcy and stuff. These are a few, they're called subprime lenders, okay? And so even though you may have a bankruptcy, you may have a car repossession and stuff like that, these places, they would actually try to help find you a loan to get a car, okay? And one of them is called Auto Credit Express. And for those of you that have managed to get a car with bad credit, no money, share your experience. Leave a comment. Let me know what did you do. Okay, if this was some of the options you used, or you used another method, let me know what it is that you did to help get you in a vehicle and stuff like that. Like I said, because there's a lot of people, again, that have bad credit. Okay, but because they have income and able to prove that, hey, I have enough income to make the car payment, I just need to get in the car, they manage to get into that vehicle. Now here's another thing about it, like with Auto Credit Express, as long as your income is about $1,500. All right, now again, people on disability, people that are on fixed incomes and stuff, they may not have that high of income and stuff like that, but they still need transportation. So then you have companies like carloans.com. And so these are platforms that actually search out to try to help you find car lenders that's willing to help you if you're subprime, you have bad credit and stuff. Now, again, if you're trying to boost your credit up real quick, here's two strategies. And this is two strategies. If you have a low credit score, all right, if you have enough income to pay your creditors, your credit cards down to about 8 to 9%, you'll see a jump in your credit score. Okay, now if you just have too many inquiries on your credit, all right, then you want to call the fraud department of the credit bureaus. Okay, especially like when you're dealing with subprime lenders and stuff like that, they're going to run your credit a lot. So call in the fraud department to let them know that, hey, some of these inquiries I did not authorize and stuff because I was only dealing with one lender and stuff. So call in the credit bureau's fraud department and stuff. Usually they can help remove those inquiries within 24 hours. And by them removing those inquiries within 24 hours, that would help boost up your credit score. Okay, so that can help push your credit score, because some people may be in the maybe about a 550 and they need to get up to maybe a 600 or 620 and stuff, and just those basics alone could possibly help you get your credit up enough to help you get qualified. Now here's another place that you want to also consider online, and it's My Auto Loans. Okay, My Auto Loans. And then the last one, a lot of people are hearing about them, is Carvana. Okay, excuse me for the minute. So with Carvana, here's the thing about it. They don't do a hard credit check, okay? They don't do a hard credit check. They do a soft pull on your credit. Your income, you have to have at least a $850 monthly income, okay? So, and no recent BKs. So no recent BKs, okay? So if you had a BK and it's been discharged, then they'll work with that, all right? But Carvana is definitely a place that a lot of people are turning to be able to buy cars and stuff like that. Like I said, they do a soft pull on your credit, but if you have income at least 850 or higher and you don't have a recent bankruptcy, they will be able to help you as well. Okay, now as I was saying, like with some of these places, if you just need temporary transportation and stuff, then I would probably turn to like Toro, Fair, Borrow, Hertz My Car, those type of places. Like I said, and I would consider if you have a large down payment. Again, you have your auto auctions and stuff. Also, like I said, you may want to look on Craigslist, all right? Because sometimes people will post cars on Craigslist, all right? They may be, or look at a probate attorney or something like that. People that actually deal with assets and stuff, and families just don't want to deal with those assets and stuff, where you can probably get a deal pretty cheap, all right? But like with Craigslist, you may find somebody on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace that's trying to get rid of a car and they need some money right away or whatever. Just make sure that they have clear title, okay? Because a lot of people, they'll try to sell your car and say, oh, I don't have the title and stuff like that. You don't want to go through that, all right? You don't want to go through that. It is possible for you to get another title, but if they don't have title, then you definitely want to negotiate the price even lower, okay? Because it's going to be a hassle trying to get that title and everything. So this is how you actually, if you have bad credit, no money, and you're trying to get transportation, you're trying to get a car loan and stuff like that, these are your best options in order to help you get a car loan. All right, so this is Houston with three-way funding. If this helps you, again, if you have any other strategies or suggestions in terms of helping the community get into a car with no money, or if they have challenging credit or whatever, put a comment. No spamming, because we will remove it, but we're just actually trying to help the community. So this is Houston with three-way funding. And I'm looking forward to making the next video, because we're really going to be diving into other strategies to help you guys. And as always, salute.